If you'd like to create high-res prints of your Aleph Null work, then you should have a look at the Canvas button and the Save button. The Canvas button allows you to resize the canvas so that you're working with a high-res sized canvas. And the Save button, or equivalently the P key, lets you save a high-res screenshot. So let's look at the Canvas button. Let me change the canvas size from 1920 by 1007 to something much higher. And we see that the size of the current canvas is always displayed right here. So if there's any doubt, check right here. 7680, 4320. Okay, set canvas size. And now it says that the canvas size is indeed 7680 by 4320. So that assures me that the change has been made. Now when I look at the screen, I see that there's a line here, and actually that's a line that the drawing is not crossing. So what's happening here is that although it is dealing with a 7680 by 4320 canvas, it's putting that canvas in the available space in the browser. It's giving a representation of that in the browser. Just like in Photoshop or a program like that, you might be dealing with a graphic that's very much bigger than the screen size in pixels, but it lets you see it in Photoshop itself in its entirety, giving a representation of the image entirely in Photoshop, or in this case, Aleph Null. So that's how you change the size of the canvas. This button, this radio button, is no longer checked. It was checked before I clicked the Set Canvas Size button. And were I to click it now, it would set the canvas size back to being the browser size. That's what this button is for, is setting the canvas size back to being the browser size. If you're not dealing with a situation where you're trying to create a high-res print, then there's really no point to making the canvas size different from the browser size that I can think of anyway. Somebody will think of just such a purpose, of course. But anyway, I'm working in Chrome right now, and what I find is that Chrome on the PC, although it is okay for a size like 7680 by 4320, if I try to beef it up too much beyond that, then Chrome blacks out every 20 seconds or so. It just can't handle the really high-res sizes like 12,000 pixels wide sort of thing. So when I want to create a high-res Aleph Null graphic, I don't use Chrome for the PC. I use either Firefox or I use Opera. And maybe it will change over time. Maybe Chrome will get better at handling big sizes like that. But at least for now, if you're working on the PC and you want to do this sort of thing, then you should use either Firefox or Opera. If you're working on the Mac, well, I haven't tested out to see which are the better browsers, but I would advise you, rather than say, oh, I'm going to create something that's 12,000 pixels wide right now, I would advise you to go up slowly, starting with something like this, 7680 by 4320, and increasing it gradually. Of course, the more pixels we're dealing with here, the more resources it requires of your computer and your browser. So just exactly how big you can make this be, make the canvas be, is going to depend on not just the browser's capabilities, but the amount of memory that you have in your computer and maybe your graphics card, that sort of thing. My desktop PC is a pretty good machine. I think I've got like 16 gigabytes of RAM, that sort of thing. So at least for now, it's a fairly contemporary system, and I was doing okay with in Firefox and Opera with sizes of 12,000 pixels by 6750 pixels, and the frame rate was tolerable. Of course, the bigger the size, the lower the frame rate is going to be, but it's about all I can think of to say about this feature. Have at it.